Hi guys, this is Asif Sheikh, your lifestyle coach. Welcome to this video where I will be training you on how to handle the most common questions that you will be asked during an interview. Now, this video has been made on the basis of the practical recruitment and training experience that I've had across 25 different industries since 2004. So please pay very close attention because these are the most monotonous questions that you will be asked during an interview. And some of these questions, my friends, the answers that you will provide to some of these questions can be game changers. So let's quickly get to my screen and start off with this training. So there we are, common interview questions. And let's quickly start off with the first question, which is undoubtedly, I'm sure all of you agree with me that this is definitely the first question you will face in any interview that you apply for, which is tell me something about yourself. Now, this question can be asked to you in a lot of ways. Tell me something about yourself. Can you run me through your profile? I have your resume here in front of me. Can you run me through your profile? So there are a lot of ways, the interviewer can ask you this question, but the motive, my friends, will remain the same. Okay, and that is something I will be training you on right now. Okay, now you obviously have to create an awesome impression like how you've been trained in the human empowerment model. You get in, you greet the interviewer or the interview panelist if there is more than one person conducting your interview. You greet them very positively, and to maintain that positivity and that impact where you have to really create an awesome first impression, this is a game changer. This question, my friends, is a game changer. This question will decide whether if you're going to make it or break it. Okay, so it has to be as relevant. It is completely on the basis of the research that you've done about the organization and on the basis of the job description on which you've developed your champion's resume. Correct? So on that basis, you have to introduce yourself, my friends. If you're a fresher, you can definitely go ahead, introduce yourself. My name is Asif Sheikh. I'm a BCom graduate. I'm a science graduate. I'm an arts graduate. And then you can straight away get to the hard skills and the soft skills that you've been trained on, the qualities that you possess, which is completely relevant to that particular job that you are applying for. If you are an experienced person and your education is not at par, your experience is more at par to that particular job opportunity, you will directly start off with your accomplishments. There is one very powerful tip that you need to take note of. Interviewers are going to be glancing through a lot of profiles. Like early in the morning when you go through the newspaper, you're not directly going to get into the content, right? You will read all the headlines, and whatever headlines are interesting for you, you will get into details. Or if probably the headline is giving you sufficient information, you will not even get into the content, right? So when an interviewer is physically conducting your interview, he will be just going through all those headlines, and whatever you've written below that in terms of roles and responsibilities, specializations, soft skills, hard skills, accomplishments, that is what you need to speak about to create that impactful first impression. Speak about the most relevant, I'm talking about experienced people here. Start speaking about the most relevant experience that you've had, and related to that experience, you can speak about all the roles and responsibilities and all the accomplishments. As you see in my profile, I've worked for a similar organization, or I've worked on a similar job and I've excelled in that. And in that particular job, I've helped my organization excel in terms of talk about those accomplishments. You remember those 4 accomplishments, right? Revenue. How did you help the organization grow in revenue? How did you help the organization grow in terms of employee management? How did you help the organization with employee management? How did you acquire more clients? How did you help the organization with business growth? And you've mentioned something in short on your profile and you wanted that chance to elaborate. This is the chance. This is the free hand that the interviewer has already given you. You have that free hand. You don't want to waste your time by talking about, in my family, my mother is a housewife, my father does this, my brother does this, my brother is pursuing this education. You will definitely have a question coming your way. Tell me something about your family, or could you shed some light on who you stay with, or how many members are there in your family? You will get that question separately. Don't directly start talking about your family, and don't start talking about your hobbies. Now, hobbies is also something I'm completely against. Okay, now hobbies, I will get to that later in the future questions. But right now, you will only and only talk about those points. You mean business, my friends. You are there for business. You are there to crack the interview. Get to the point directly. Talk about those accomplishments. Talk about your specializations. There are some things that you must have upskilled or upgraded yourself on after going through the job description for that particular job that you've applied for. Start talking about all that. Whatever you think you want to cover up to create that impactful impression, That is how you need to answer this question, my friends. Tell me something about yourself. What is required is what is relevant to that particular job that you're applying for. That can be the most relevant part in your profile. For freshers, it can be education. Freshers also, if it is not education, then for example, if you're applying for customer service, you're applying for sales, you're applying for any of these jobs, then speak about those accomplishments or those achievements that you've had in terms which reflect qualities like good communication skills, like debates, which reflect good teamwork, like you can talk about some projects, some events that you've been a part of as a freelancer. Let's get to the next question. So why do you want to join us? I would love to be a part of this organization to utilize my expertise and help this particular organization grow in the relative industry that they belong to. You have to repeat your mission over here. This is the reason you want to join us and the company. You need to talk about the company growth because now this is your mission, right? Now, when you are elaborating your mission, I'm sure when you've gone through the website of that organization, you've done your R&D, you've Googled things about that organization, you must have come across the mission and the vision of that organization also. So you can talk about the mission and the vision of your organization has highly motivated me to build my mission, and I want to be a part of your organization, help you with your mission in order to achieve that vision. Because if the company is going to grow and I'm going to be a part of the company in this particular growth process, eventually even I am going to grow. Wow. Awesome, right? So that's how you need to impress, and that's how it needs to be said, not in a very fake manner, but in a very genuine way possible. In a very genuine way. And my friends, you don't only have to talk about it. It's not that just verbally creating an impression. You have to create that mindset. Somewhere down the line, you have to be honest to yourself also, right? So when you're saying that, you have to mean it. It's not something that you're just speaking just to impress somebody, because that's how you need to create your mindset. You need to be saying that with all your mind and all your heart. Because if you do that, it's going to reflect in your voice, or else it's going to sound very fake. So I want to be a part of this organization. I've gone through the mission and vision. That's how I have made my mission to ensure that I help this particular organization achieve the vision. And when the vision is achieved, the company is growing. When the company is growing, I will grow along with the company. So with the company's growth comes my growth as well, right? So that's the reason I want to join a reputed or a growing organization like yours. So practical training, my friends. I'm not training you like those YouTube videos. So why do you want to join us? I want to join you because very reputed organization, very this, very that. And no, it's not monotonous, it's not robotic. This is no school where we just teaching you, and you're just going to mug up everything and go there. Okay. Let's get to the next question. Why should we hire you? Correct? Now, I would not mind, kind of going back and reflecting my positive points from when I was introducing myself. There's something that you must have missed out on. So why should we hire you can again be utilizing my expertise. These are the expertise that I acquire. And like I mentioned in why do you want to join us, I mentioned the mission and the vision. If there's anything that you've missed out over there, my friends, you can mention over here in terms of how good you are as a team player. You can start giving examples of that. You can start reflecting pointers like you have quick learning ability is going to go a long way. Being a team player is going to go a long way. Good with multitasking. I will never have a problem to go out of my way and even kind of explore other departments. If the company thinks I'm capable to explore that, I would definitely love to go ahead and explore and help the organization in whichever way possible. Even if these 3 points are conveyed out of those 16 points we've covered in self-discovery, that is multitasking abilities, quick learning abilities, and you being a team player, will definitely go a long way. What do you know about our company? Okay, now what do you know about our company? You can, when you've gone through the research, you can definitely go ahead and start with the year of its establishment. That's going to be really impressive. If somebody comes to my organization and tells me, I'm aware that the organization started in the year 2004, I'll be like, wow, okay, done. The person remembers this. It started in XYZ month in the year 2004. I'll be more than happy, because somebody who's done that research might be somebody who's my current employees who are working. Some of them might not know when my organization was established, when we had initiated this business journey. Somebody talking to me about the year of establishment, again talking about the mission and the vision, how the business earns a particular revenue and what or how do they run the particular organization, and you need to reflect on those pointers which is going to get revenue to them. Since you know the business right now, you're going to reflect on the pointers which is the revenue generating pointers over there. You can speak about the headcount, you can speak about a lot of things that you've gone ahead and done your research on. Okay, very simple questions. Now these are going to be simple questions. I've already told you about those impactful questions. If you've covered everything there itself, you might avoid a lot of questions coming your way amongst the common questions. Would you consider yourself as a team player? So if you've not covered that in your abilities before, might be this question comes to you as a separate question altogether. Do you consider yourself as a team player? Okay. Now a very important question might be, you've said that you're a team player. The question might come in a very different way altogether. They might tell you, give us some examples from your previous employment, or if you're a fresher, give us some examples from your personal life experiences that prove that you are a good team player. Okay, now over here, there are no bad situations you're going to be talking about. You are going to speak about how a particular task was completed, ensuring that the entire team worked together. You can say that, I believe myself, that, I believe in teamwork myself, because it's teamwork is all about we, it's not about me. And, if you can just go ahead with these particular quotes and then initiate that entire explanation of how important teamwork is. An organization growth definitely depends on the teamwork that an organization does. No organization can grow without teamwork, my friends. So you need to reflect as many pointers as you can when you're asked this question, that would you consider yourself as a team player. Go ahead, give them those examples. It can be as simple as you took up a social cause. You took up a social cause of feeding so many XYZ number of people, and how you friends as a team ensured that the task was completed in a given period of time. You can go ahead and say that, you took up a project of an NGO, where you worked as an entire team, and you provided food or clothes or anything. That's if you're a fresher. You can talk about an event. It can be as simple as just one particular event, one particular party, one particular cultural event also, that you've kind of organized with your friends or with your family. And how did your family work as a team? Teamwork can be any example, my friends. If you're a fresher and you're asked about teamwork, do not panic. You can talk about teamwork that you've done with your family to accomplish something. You can talk about teamwork accomplished with your team if you are experienced. Teamwork can be said in a lot of ways related to any activities you've done with your friends, your family, or your colleagues as well. So do not get confused with when they say team player, and if you're a fresher, you cannot just go ahead and say that, but I've not worked anywhere, so I've never worked in a team. So don't say that. Team working abilities can be reflected in a lot of different ways as well. Why did you leave your previous organization, or why do you want to leave your current organization? So if you've already left the previous organization, they will ask you, why did you leave your organization? And if you are currently working, they will definitely ask you, why do you want to leave your current organization? Now this, my friends, is a question that I want to draw all your attention. Okay. Now over this, it was all about you, your abilities and your qualities. Now in this particular question, it's going to be very, very tricky, very, very tricky, my friends. A lot of times I see people not emphasizing on how and what are the genuine reasons why they've left their previous organizations. Your reasons can only reflect around 2-3 different situations. You cannot definitely go ahead and say that, I'm not able to gel with my current team, or my boss is not good. That's the reason I don't want to continue with my job. My boss is not understanding. See, might be this is a fact that your boss is not understanding. Okay, but there is no way you can say that during the interview. Nobody is going to take that positively, even if you are right. Even if your ex-boss is a devil, probably he's made your life hell. You cannot say some things during an interview. You cannot talk bad about the previous organizations. You cannot talk bad about the ex-employees you worked with. You cannot talk bad about the seniors that you've reported to from your previous organizations. If it has happened, that has been your reason of working, that cannot be the reason that you're going to be mentioning here. The genuine reasons can be growth. And growth can only come into the picture if you worked for that organization for more than a year, year and a half, and 2 years. You cannot say that, I worked for this organization for 3 months and 4 months, and because I did not get growth, I left the organization. No organization in the entire world, even if it's an organization with a headcount of just one person, is going to give you that growth that quickly, my friends. So please understand that you cannot sound selfish. Yes, you can definitely go ahead and talk about some commitments that, even a year is too early. But if you think that is the reason you need to give, you need to back it up with the right answers. Go ahead and say that the company had initiated this journey on the basis of this particular commitment. I went ahead and I spoke to my seniors about it. They said that they will not be able to give it at this point of time. And they have given me that opportunity. Everything is very transparent with my previous employers. They are aware that I'm applying for an interview. It has been very clear with them. I've spoken to them about, me applying for another interview because the organization was not able to provide as per what was committed to me. And because of that, I don't want to go on bad books. I don't want to go on the bad terms. I will be serving my notice. I will be completing all my formalities. I always want to ensure that I am in touch with my previous organizations in on a very good note, because I've built some awesome relations out there. Okay, so you've spoken that you are a team player, you are a very positive person, but these are the questions, my friends, that really define that are you actually positive? Are you a team player? Are you somebody that this current company can kind of rely on? This question, my friends, this is one major question. I will tell you my experience. I don't need any survey for this. 80% of the people get rejected. 80% of the people get rejected because they don't have the right answers. They do not have the correct answers on why they are leaving their current organization, or why they've left the previous organization. As well as when there are gaps on your profile, like for example, you work for an organization, then you've not worked anywhere for 6 months or 1 year, people are not able to justify those gaps also. So justifying those gaps with genuine issues, my friends. If you have a gap, again, you cannot be like, no, I was doing nothing. What were you doing for those 6 months, 1 year? Nothing. I was chilling at home. Okay. Surprising. I mean, might be it sounds surprising to you because you've been through this training now. But there is candidates have that tendency of going ahead and, giving such lame and casual answers. So please avoid this. This question also, I would like to include another part over here. If you have any gap in your profile, if you're a fresher, any gap after your education, if you are an experienced person, any gap in between the organizations that you work for, you've got to give accurate justifications to those scenarios. Now, those scenarios can be infinite. There can be many. There are millions of scenarios that can be there. But if you're confused about what the reason can be, though your reason for leaving is genuine, please drop me a question. If you've left an organization and you think your answer is not sounding quite justifying, drop me that question. Might be I'll go ahead, I'll make a training video on how to handle those kind of questions. Or probably I will get on a call with you. I will ask you for your contact details, get on a Zoom call with you immediately, and immediately train you on how to handle that particular interview question. Obviously, considering whether if I'm in the country, I'm out of country, my work's schedule, everything. But trust me, the moment I'm free, it can be even in the middle of the night. If you're available, I'll buzz you and I'll try to see if you're available and go ahead and try and answer that question of yours. But very important, why you left your previous organization. You cannot talk bad about the organization and back it up by saying that I have a great relationship with my current employees and all of them are aware, and my senior management is aware that I'm looking for a job, and definitely I would be going ahead and serving that kind of notice period, whatever is required by that organization. As for the joining I get from this organization, I will go ahead, try to negotiate that particular phase or the notice period phase, and I will ensure that I leave on a very good note, because there are so many things I've learned from my previous organizations, because of which I've been able to be eligible for this job. And that's what these interviewers see, that whatever you've learned in your previous jobs, that's how you've been eligible to probably go and apply for that interview. And if you don't respect that and you're going to be talking bad about all those things, then they will lose respect for you in turn. Very important question. A very, very important question. I want a lot of scenarios over here. If you're confused about the reason that you need to provide why you've left your previous organization, get on a call with me, my friends. Get on a call with me. I would love to answer these questions, because there are numerous situations in this particular category. So I cannot cover all, but I would love to, go ahead and cover this on a one-on-one video call. I would love to do that. If your question is interesting and genuine and you're not trying to act funny, if I get that funny feeling, I'm not going to be replying to it. But yes, definitely, if your question is genuine and you've given me all that information, you cannot just give me a one-word question over there that I want to leave my previous organization, I don't have a reason. I want that entire scenario to be mentioned. So I worked for this organization, I worked from this day to this day. I've left only within 8 months. Unfortunately, I left within 8 months because of this. Do you think this is the right reason, or is there anything else that I would like to convey? I want that entire scenario over here. Don't make me, I would love to help you if you provide me with all the information. Don't make me judge what situation you are in. I want that entire detail to be mentioned for me to help you with that question better. Okay. So I'm looking forward for those questions from your end as well. Next question is, what have you learned from your previous organizations? Okay. Again, what you've learned from your previous organizations. You can talk about the hard skills, the soft skills. Talk great, talk big about the previous organizations, irrespective. However, it is wherever I am today, whatever I am today is because of the previous organizations. Whatever I've learned from there, education has taught me to this extent, but my practical experience, I really give credit to my previous organizations I've worked for. They want to see your behavior. HR will check your behavior. This is what an HR does. This is going to be your first round of interview. Every first round is an HR round. Okay, HR has this questionnaire and they have these monotonous questions that they will ask you. HR's job is to judge you on the basics, to judge you whether if you will fit the culture, to judge you whether if you are the right person to be hired. Are you a troublemaker? Are you somebody who's a split personality? Are you somebody who's a little, mentally stable or not stable to be working for the organization? This is what the HR does, a complete background verification about you verbally in this interview before they pass on your profile for the final round or for the further rounds of interviews. Okay, so these will be the questions just to see whether if you respect the kind of experiences and the organizations that you worked for in the past as well. What do you do in your spare time? Okay, nobody's interested if you're swimming, nobody's interested if you're dancing, nobody's interested if you're doing hip hop. You're simply just kind of, developing these branches for unnecessary questions that are coming your way. Imagine if you say that, I love dancing. Dancing is my hobby. Oh, lovely. So have you been pursuing that? And if you go ahead and say, yes, I have my classes, and you show any kind of extra commitment, and might be you have that oops situation after that. Oh my God, why the hell did I say that? But by then it's going to be too late. If you're going to show any other commitment in a hobby which is not related to the job profile, I'm sorry, it is going to be game over for you. What do you do in your spare time? You try to upgrade yourself on the soft skills and hard skills so that you can be better at your job. Okay, you cannot say I'm looking for 2-3 organizations every day, right? You're already there for an interview. You can mention that I'm very serious about going ahead and pursuing and kind of progressing in this particular career. I'm very interested in this field of in my line of career, and in my spare time I try to upgrade myself with my soft skills and hard skills so that I can be a better employee and prove as a better asset to that particular organization. So quickly starting with the next question as well. Further plans of education. Like you don't need to mention anything else, any other hobbies or extracurricular activities in your spare time for your further education. Also, it's kind of a question there where you can again make it or break it. If you're going to be like, yes, I have plans of education, I might pursue my masters. So if you're going to be pursuing your masters, is that going to be internally or externally? I will do that internally. If you will pursue that internally, how will you continue with this job? Gone. You're stuck. You're stuck in your own mess that you've created yourself. You've kind of, stepped on the wrong stone over there. And then eventually after that, what comes? What is the HR going to check you on? Stability? You're not stable. They exactly know you're going to be working there for 6 months, 1 year, kind of gather some money for your education and utilize that job just to educate yourself. You don't want to bring that information, right? Any further plans of education? No further plans of education at all. Yes, I will definitely go ahead and kind of upgrade myself with some crash courses, which will ensure, even if you want to kind of educate yourself, which will ensure that my job does not get disturbed. And definitely it will not get disturbed because my upgradations are all going to be related to this job. My upgradations are all going to be related for me to be a better employee for this particular organization I'm applying for. So that's how relative, then that's how focused you need to be. That's the kind of demand, that's the kind of competition, that's the kind of convincing, that is the kind of commitment that is required by organizations nowadays, my friends. So like I said, these answers are not on any of those other YouTube videos or some monotonous or some robotic or some theoretical answers. These are practical answers that you need to provide. No further education. No further education. You cannot make that organization feel that they are financiers for your future education. You cannot, kind of develop that feeling within them. So please answer this question very, very, very clearly. No, the safest way to get out of it is no further plans. Yes, if any upgradations in terms of crash courses during my offs, my weekly offs, obviously during the weekly offs, okay? Nothing during, nothing because of which you'll have to leave the job early, or someday like a Monday, you have a training. So Monday office shuts, I get leave from office, or my work gets over by 7. Can you leave me by 6:30 because I have to attend this course? Nothing that is going to affect your work at all. Only courses that you will be taking up in your weekly offs, that and courses relative to the line of career that you've chosen. You've already had a career clarity, right? If you are going to be applying for a job and then get pursuing some crash courses in some other stream altogether, you've not got your career clarity right. Get back to the human empowerment model, get your career clarity, and then come to this video. Okay, so obviously your further education should be in the form of certifications and related to a similar line of business. What are your salary expectations? Okay, obviously every interviewer is going to ask you this. Okay, now your salary expectations, you need to do, first thing is you need to get a lot of market research done. You need to understand your price tag. Okay, there are a lot of platforms like glassdoor.com, where you can go ahead and see that for your particular job role in this particular country and the other companies, what is the price tag, what are they paying in the market. You need to understand what is the ticket size as per the current market trend. Because if you're just going to have an expectation, 1 lakh rupees expectation for a 30,000 rupees job, or a $2,000 expectation, or a $5,000 expectation for a $2,000 price tag for that particular job, it's going to be irrelevant. And even if you've given an amazing interview, it's really not going to make sense. Get your market research done. If you are a fresher, if you are experienced, then definitely you can go ahead and ask for a hike on your last drawn salary. Then is, how are you with handling pressure? Okay, usually this question does not come initially. It's not amongst the common questions, but might be this question comes your way in the HR round itself, or in the operations, or the final round of your interview. Now, how do you handle pressure is also something where you need to emphasize your abilities on. If you are a fresher, you need to talk about the previous events you've done. If you've done something and it's the day, the day of the event, the day of, some charity task that you're doing, there is pressure. Anything you do, and when you kind of planning that, there is, and there are more than 3 people involved, there will be pressure. And then comes the final day of execution. Like I said, when we spoke about the previous accomplishments, if you're a fresher, can be in terms of how your family accomplished a particular task as teamwork, or your friends accomplished a particular task as teamwork. Now that day of execution is definitely going to be pressure. How did you handle pressure in terms of achievement, in terms of complete execution and achieving success in the task that you executed? Okay, so always talk about your success stories also. And like I said, stories always work. Where if you're a fresher, you can talk about where me and my friends, we had planned this particular event, and the day of execution might be this XYZ thing was not working, and we were just 1 hour away from the main event. And how in that 1 hour you manage something to accomplish, to things run smoothly, and to ensure that the event started on time. Or if you are an experienced person, then how last moment might be a client interaction or a customer interaction, or something that went wrong on the floor where you were working, or with or related to your some other department altogether, and how did you go out of your way, handle the pressure, and ensure that things went smoothly. So examples always work. You cannot just be like, I'm very good at handling pressure, I'm amazing with handling pressure. Handling pressure is solid. I mean, I will not panic. So there is a limitation, right? That you can justify that you're good in handling pressure. You cannot keep repeating that. So the best way is you acknowledge, yes, I've learned by handling pressurized situations in the past. I've learned that, never to go in the panic mode. Always look for solutions rather than focusing on the problems. After saying this, directly jump to that example, justify that example, and there you are sorted. Okay. Now, like I said, these are some of the common questions I've covered over here. So these are some common questions. In the future, if any other questions come across, I will be speaking about those common questions also, and we'll keep adding those videos if required in the future as well. There we are, and wish you all the best when you apply for an interview. Please, it would be really nice if you go through this video before you apply for the interview, probably a day before. I wish you all the best in handling all these common questions, and I'm sure that you are now going to ace it, my friends. Wish you all the best. Take care of yourselves. Bye.